I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm a coach who helps people in a variety of ways professionally. That can be involved with a job search, hiring more effectively, managing and leading, career development, workplace related stuff, executive coaching. There is a lot I help people with. Welcome to Ask Me Anything, and I've got a bunch of questions I'm going to answer for you, okay? And I'll just start off by saying, before I do the questions, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching from me, reach out to me through my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a button there that says schedule. Schedule time for a free discovery call. Schedule time for coaching. I'd love to help you. And while you're there, go exploring in the blog. I've got thousands of posts there that will help you with your search. Even though they're not really set up for you specifically, there's a lot there that might be helpful. So again, that's thebiggamehunter.us. So I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 questions for today. Question number 1, what should you do if your resume is not generating any interview calls? When I coach people, I tell them, if your resume isn't getting you interviews, here's what's wrong. Excuse my language, your resume sucks. Your resume and LinkedIn profile are not congruent. Maybe you don't have the skills to do the jobs that you're applying for. Maybe your resume doesn't make the fit for how your background fits what the firm is looking for. Those are the basic things. So what can you do to generate more interview calls is tailor your resume to make the fit obvious to an interviewer or to a screener that your background fits the role. Otherwise, it's little more than spam. Second question is, can anyone see my profile on LinkedIn, or is it just visible to members? LinkedIn profiles are all accessible through Google. They may not have the same depth as you would find on the platform. That is, it may not have the details of your background available, but they can see enough to determine interest just by Googling a particular background. Are mock interviews effective? Absolutely. And I say that because a good mock interview helps you practice. It helps you practice speaking the answers to predictable questions you're going to be asked when you're on interviews. And that's what most of you need, is practice. Practice will help you get better. And you have to practice the right answers to the questions. So if you're an engineer, for example, it's helpful to work with someone who's in engineering so that in this way they can tell whether some of the professional answers are right for you. Other things, like the general stuff that might be asked on an interview, or what I refer to as my interview framework, I think you don't need someone. It could be with me, it could be with a husband, wife, partner, former colleague, anyone that you know. But definitely mock interviews work. How do you sell yourself in a cover letter? So if you're sending a cover letter, I think of it as the body of the email, not a separate attachment. A separate attachment is something that they won't open. They'll recognize the resume file and never go to the separate attachment. So the way to get people to read it is by making it the body of the email. And thus, if you're sending a cover letter, what you do is say, I'm forwarding my resume to you for such and such position I saw advertised on fill in the blank. Let me walk you through how my background fits the role. And then to the flush left, you put the skills and experience being sought in the left-hand column. To the flush right, you put how long and how recently you've used that skill, performed that functionality, and thus what you're doing is matching up your background to show the fit. If you haven't worked with something, omit it. And if you're uploading your resume to an applicant tracking system or to an ad on LinkedIn, and you can only upload one file, make the cover letter page 1 of your resume. And I say that because if you do that, what will happen is that's page 1 of your resume and has all the keywords, right? So they'll love seeing that. Is missing a call from an interviewer after you did the interview a big deal? I just want to be clear, and I'm not going to be absolutely certain. So you did a phone interview with an interviewer, and you're supposed to speak to them afterwards. Is it a big deal? Depends. It depends upon whether or not they were giving you feedback, whether or not they were scheduling you for the next round of interviews, and now each of you has to chase one another, which is always an annoyance. Why did you miss the interview? Really, why did you miss the interview? You know someone is calling you. I'm sure they set up a time for the call. Why did you miss it? It can be a big deal because it's an inconvenience for them. You weren't there. Now, this was a call out of the blue. I'll call you a day or two after the interview to see how it went. That's different. But in general, is it a big deal? Perhaps, perhaps not. We can't tell. What is the proper answer to the question, let me know your availability for a phone call interview? Should I tell a specific time or just a date? So, let me know your availability. They want to know when they can schedule you for. If you're available all day on Wednesday, just tell them all day Wednesday. Or I'll give you another example. Thursday I'm available from 9 to 10:30 and in the afternoon from 2 to 3:30. Friday I'm open all morning and then after 1 o'clock I'm inaccessible. Notice you try and be specific because they're trying to schedule an interview. When do you think you might be getting back to me? Because people pop themselves into my calendar and obviously I don't want a conflict. They'll tell you when they'll be back. And what you're doing is giving them an idea of availability and what your expectation of them is. Is it rude to ask an interviewer how many other candidates there are? It's not helpful. It's not that it's rude. It's not helpful. If you heard 147, 47, 4, obviously your best chance is with the one with 4. But the goal here is to get a sense of what their timeline is for next steps. So you might, instead of asking how many other people are there that they're evaluating, you might just simply say, when do you think I might hear back from you about next steps? By Thursday of next week. Great, I appreciate that. I'm just curious, how many more people are you talking to? Just one more, but he was available. She was available on Wednesday. Got it. Or, I've got 14 more people to talk to, and we'll be back in touch with you if we're interested. That's a very different answer. Listen to how they talk about the competition before you treat it in any other way other than information. 2 more questions. Why are they interviewing one more candidate who was referred to them after asking for my references? I've been through a lengthy interview process and the recruiter responded that this one referral will be interviewed in the next few days. Is this a dead deal? Could be, might not be. But I will tell you, they wanted to talk to this person for a couple of possible reasons. Number 1, it's the son and daughter of a big client or a senior person within the organization. Number 2 is they got the resume last minute and they want to evaluate this person because they have a great background. Those tend to be the reasons why the last minute contender shows up and brings everything to a halt and causes you to now sweat bullets. And they may be making you sweat bullets in order, not about a candidate, but more about they want you to worry about whether you're getting this job. I can't tell from this question what it is, but clearly they're still shopping. Last question. Is it rude to ask an interviewer how many other candidates there are? I've already covered that one. So it was really 8 questions. I apologize about the duplication on the last one. Hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. Again, visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. I've got a lot there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you. Also want to mention, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, on the button on the home page and other pages, there's a button that says schedule, where you can schedule time for a free discovery call or for a coaching session or some of the other services I provide. I'd love to help you. Lastly, Subscribe to my channel on YouTube by clicking the icon in the lower right or the picture of me in the upper left. And you can also watch me on a Fire TV, Fire Stick, by downloading the Job Search TV app. Or you can also watch me on Apple TV, Roku, Sony, Samsung, Zingo TV, 90 some odd other channels, other devices. You can download bingenetworks.tv and watch me there. Have a great day and take care. Bye.